Hi, Don Haydens. The Flash Season 40 Right Part 2. Let's begin.
Your ass up because it's time to go beast mode. Beast mode.
Okay, so before I begin, I would like to say, before you watch this video, make sure you watch the previous video, the Flash Season 40 Right Part 1, so that you can understand what's going on in this video. So with all that being said, let's get right into it. Episode 11, welcome back. Iris comes out of the Speedforce with Barry, and he tells Harry that something went wrong and the team is stuck in the Speedforce. Harry insists on going back to help them, but there's nothing he can do. Barry is confused, and he's the exact same way he was when the original Season 4 started, writing crazy stuff on the walls and stuff like that. And Iris uses her connection with Barry to snap him out of it, the same way she did in the original show, being kidnapped by the samurai and stuff like that. And Barry snaps back to reality, but he's pretty confused. He doesn't know what's going on because the team is missing. And Iris comes up with a really convincing story to convince him that the team is dead. And Barry actually believes it. And DeVoe also planned this thing ahead. He created fake evidence to support Iris' story, and Barry believes her. Episode 12, crossover. Okay, this is going to be the crossover episode. I'm not going to talk about it because it doesn't have anything to do with my story. So just like last time, the crossover episode doesn't matter. Let's just skip it. Episode 13, Flashtime. I really loved this episode, and I think it was really amazing in the original show. It did have plot holes, and they were pretty annoying. And like for example, Jesse went to F3 to get Jay Garrick, even though they just established that they could not open portals, which was so fucking stupid. And it was just full of plot holes, but I think it was done pretty well. So instead of that lady being the one who detonates the bomb, in this episode it's going to be DeVoe. So he's doing this to test out Barry's speed and how fast he has become. So that's pretty much it. Episode 14. It's been a long time. Barry and his remaining team wonder who the Thinker is. The Thinker decides to reveal his identity. Apparently, it is Clifford DeVoe. Barry remembers him. He was supposed to be Savitar in Flashpoint, but since Savitar's identity changed when Barry reset the timeline, it means DeVoe gained different abilities, and he's different from the DeVoe that Barry knew. So he tells Barry that his superpower is super speed, and his own power is his own, intellectual capabilities. Keep in mind that this version of the Thinker doesn't have superpowers. He's just really, really smart. Because I feel like if he has superpowers, he can't make mistakes. Like, he shouldn't make mistakes at all. He should have like infinite intelligence or whatever. So because he doesn't have superpowers in this story, in my version of the story, if he makes a mistake, it's understandable because he's still human at all. So that's pretty much why I removed his superpowers and gave him like normal human intelligence. He's above average, obviously. He's super intelligent, but he's still human. He doesn't have powers. That's why I did it. Now, Harry figures out a way of getting the Team Flash out of the Speed Force, and he and Barry do whatever it is that they have to do, and the plan actually works. The team is successfully pulled out of the Speed Force, and they do it using the tech that Harry stole from Earth 19. Remember the episode in the previous video where I said Harry stole tech from Earth 19? They actually use it to get the team out of the Speed Force. That's the same tech that they used to get Barry out of the Speed Force. So the Thinker escapes the pipeline cell, and I don't know what they call him. So the Thinker reveals his true plan. He reveals that Iris is not Iris. She's just a humanoid android driven by an artificial intelligence program, and she was only there to spy on the team for DeVoe. So the Flash and the rest of the team try to stop DeVoe, but they meet. They are met with a surprise. The Flash's suit has some piece of tech that prevents Barry from using his Speed Force. He becomes completely powerless while he manages to grab DeVoe and pin him against the wall. Now, remember that piece of tech I mentioned in the previous video? If you didn't watch the previous video, that's why I suggest that you watch the previous video, because I mentioned the piece of tech that DeVoe had on his forehead. So he uses that piece of tech to control Wally and take over his body. Not take over his body as in transferring his consciousness to his body. I hated that about the original series. I hated that. So at this time, he doesn't transfer his consciousness into different bodies. He's actually controlling Wally using his neural link, whatever the fuck, brain control, mind control, whatever thing, using that piece of tech. I don't know what to call it. I'm not a scientist. So while his new insane speed is enough to beat the whole team, like he's really fast. He's obviously not as fast as the Flash, but he's still really fast. And Devore uses him to escape. And it is revealed again that this was all Devore's plan. Sending the team into the Speed Force weakened them because they spent so much time without using their powers. But as for Wally, Devore wanted him to go into the Speed Force so that he can soak in all of its energy and become really fast. So he's not as fast as the Flash, but he's still nearly as fast as him. So he's capable of defeating the Flash, actually. So Wally is now really, really fast, and Devore leaves with Iris and Wally because he's still in control of Wally. So episode 15, the Speed Force portal. Devore keeps trying to use Wally to open a wormhole, and Team Flash figures out why he's doing it. Apparently, when the timeline changed, in this new timeline, Devore was also hit with dark matter, and that's during the initial explosion, the initial particle accelerator explosion. He was hit with dark matter too, but instead of that giving him superpowers, it only exposed him to his memories before Flashpoint. Hence, remembering that in the original timeline he had a family, and in this new timeline his family was erased completely, and now he has nothing. He has been struggling in this new timeline, being a loser and all that, and having nothing to his name and stuff like that, all because of Barry changed the timeline and created Flashpoint. And then in Flashpoint, he still lived a good life, but then Barry changed it again to create this new timeline that they're living in. So because of that, he's pretty pissed off. It's a pretty similar situation to Cisco's new timeline, where he finds that his brother is alive in the previous timeline and he's dead in the new timeline. It's a similar situation. So this might sound a little too much to some of you, but I really doubt that if you're able to watch a TV show called The Flash about a guy who can run faster than the speed of sound, I find it difficult to believe that you wouldn't understand that. So you should be able to understand that. It's pretty simple. So, in this new timeline, Devore wants to get back his original life. He's trying to reset the timeline back to the way it was. So, I didn't like his motivation in the original show because it didn't make sense. Like, he basically hates technology, despite the fact that he uses technology for every single thing. And instead of making sense, it all made him and his wife look like dumb dweebs who hated technology for no reason, because she gets caught by some piece of tech and she's like, yeah, let's just get rid of technology. Like that was pretty stupid. So yeah, I felt like I really needed to change Devore's motivation so that I make him a better villain in my story. I hope that worked out. So back to the episode, the team finds out about all this, and Barry starts feeling guilty about it. He tries to talk Devore out of his plan and tries to convince him that they can help him get his life back. But Devore tells them that the only way to get his children back is by fixing the timeline, and he's going to proceed with his plan, and he will make sure that Team Flash does not exist in this new planned timeline, the one that he will create. So yes, he plans to erase the whole team from existence. Episode 16, More Speed. Devore tries to use Wally to travel back in time, but he realizes that he's actually miscalculating everything. Remember, in this rewrite, he's just a regular person, so he's not a meta-human. He can make mistakes because he's still human, so he does make mistakes and he does make a miscalculation. And he realizes that Wally is actually not fast enough to travel through time yet. He needs to send Wally into the Speed Force a little bit longer just to give him a little speed boost. But Barry uses his new ability, which I forgot to mention, to block to block him from accessing the Speed Force. Devore also learns that Wally is actually fast enough to run back in time, but the reason that he hasn't been able to do so is because Barry has been blocking him from doing it. Apparently, while Barry was in the Speed Force, he learned how to control the Speed Force to some extent. He can actually block some speedsters, especially those who are close to him, from accessing the Speed Force. So he does that, and while he's not able to access the Speed Force, and he gets slower every time he runs. Devore has no choice but to take out Barry first, so he uses Wally and Iris to fight Barry, and he manages to bring him down and capture him. Episode 17, Flashback. Devore uses Barry to open a portal back to the past, and as I said, he plans to recreate Flashpoint, and then from there, after the timeline, somehow to restore his original family, and get rid of Team Flash once and for all. But when he gets to the portal, Wally follows him into it, and they arrive in the past, the day when Barry's mother died. Barry tries to save his mother, but Devore uses Wally to stop him. They have a big fight, with while Reverse Flash kills Barry's mother, and after successfully stopping Barry from saving his mother, sorry, something got into my eye. So after stopping Barry from saving his mother, Flashpoint is no longer created. The new timeline that was reset to create Flashpoint is now restored. That is the original timeline where Zoom exists, before season 3 happened, basically. So this makes DeVoe happy, and now he plans to use the 3 speedsters, which is Barry, Barry from the future, Barry from the current timeline, and Wally. He plans to use them to his advantage. Sorry, there's a disturbance outside. Apologies for that. I don't know why. There's like people making noise somewhere. I don't know if it's in the other room or what. I'm sorry about that. So DeVoe locks them up in his lair and uses his power dampener to prevent them from using their powers. And he tells them that he's now going to wipe out Team Flash from the surface of the earth. But not just Team Flash though. He believes that the metahumans are a big problem and they need to be fixed. The world has become a horrible place because of these metahumans. He believes that all metahumans need to die in order to fix the world and get rid of evil. Episode 18, Resolve. Now this is going to be the episode where Barry changes as a person. He begins to learn the truth. Barry has always believed that if Flash didn't exist, evil would overtake the world, and the whole city, basically. But that what he failed to realize is that the Flash himself is way more dangerous than any metahuman on the planet. The Flash himself caused way more damage than any metahuman possibly could. DeVoe flashes out his ideologies to Barry Allen, to both Barry Allens actually, and Wally West. DeVoe believes that the Flash is a fraud. For every life that Barry saves, he destroys 10 more. DeVoe proves this by telling the events that happened before. There was a time when Barry saved a man from a car accident. He saved a man that day. But what he didn't realize was that the man he saved was a drug lord. The same day after saving that man's life, whose name was Richard Byers, that man went on to do his drug thing, and he ended up killing an innocent family. Why? Because one of the workers actually got contacted by the police, and they were going to report the whole thing to the police and be a witness. But the man found out, and he killed that woman and his family. And because of that, DeVoe believes that instead, Barry saved this man's life so that he can go and kill a whole family. This is just one example. DeVoe gives more examples, including himself, actually, as the last example. Barry was so determined to save his mother for his own selfish reasons, but he didn't stop for a second to think about the consequences of his decisions. He saved his mother, and in doing so, he literally changed the lives of every human being on the planet. Yes, Barry is literally capable of changing the lives of every single person in the planet. That is just how dangerous the Flash is. So yeah, that's the reason why DeVoe considers him the most dangerous metahuman of them all. That is the reason why DeVoe wants to get rid of metahumans. He believes that the world will be a better place without them. So Barry talks to Barry. Okay, let me put it this way. There's a season 4 Barry, and there's a season 2 Barry. Season 2 Barry, the one who went back in time to change the timeline. So I'm gonna call them Barry 2 and Barry 4. So Barry 4 talks to Barry 2, the younger one, and tries to convince him not to change the timeline and stuff like that. But Barry 2 is still convinced that this is whole just crap. Like he's still going to do it no matter what they say. He's going to save his mommy because he's so selfish. Sorry, I just think the Flash is selfish. So he begins to remember everything that happened. End of season 1, he opened a portal and went back in time, and as a result, he opened a portal to Earth 2 and hence brought Zoom into this world. And that was his fault. Season 2, he went back in time to save his mom, and he changed everyone's life. DeVoe went from a good man to a villain because of him. He ruined his life. He ruined everybody's life. Iris died because Barry Allen changed the timeline. Caitlin became Killer Frost in season 3 because of his actions. He begins to finally realize that he is the problem. He's not a hero. He has been cursed with the power to destroy people's lives. And even his father died because of him. Heck, even his mother died because Barry decided to become the Flash in the first place. So in the end, Barry is not really a good guy. That's what he starts to realize. So Barry season 4 tells Barry season 2 not to change the timeline, and Barry 2 of course tells him, nah, I'm gonna save my mommy. But Barry tells him everything that happened in the future, the death of Iris, the death of F2 Barry and Iris, the bad things that happened because of Flashpoint. Barry 2 begins to realize that maybe his future self is right. Maybe he shouldn't be messing with the timeline. Maybe he shouldn't save his mother. He still hasn't decided on what to do yet. Meanwhile, DeVoe is busy with Team Flash. Remember, the original timeline has been restored, which means Iris is not dead anymore, and everything went back to normal. Everything is now back to how it was at the end of season 2. So DeVoe plans on releasing a toxin in the city, and the toxin will kill every meta-human it touches in seconds. He plans to use the particle accelerator to do it, so he forces Cisco and Team Flash to activate the accelerator. On the other hand, Barry Season 4 remembers something about the power dampeners. He figures out a way of deactivating them, and he does, hence gaining his powers back. The three of them agree to stop DeVoe together, and they go to help him. They go to stop him, not help him. Sorry. Episode 19, Team Flash. The three speedsters come to fight DeVoe, and they quickly realize something. DeVoe is a mastermind, and he already predicted that they would escape the prison. So, back in the previous timeline, he saw Barry preventing Wally from accessing the Speedforce. He studied Barry after... What do you want? Recording at home. Sorry, that's my nephew. He was looking for his laptop. Sorry. So he has a device on his chest that allows him to prevent speedsters from accessing the Speedforce, hence slowing them down significantly. Because of this, he's able to predict their move with 99% accuracy. He manages to bring them down, and the whole team Flash is confused, is like captured again. To confuse them even more, to make them even more vulnerable, DeVoe tells them everything that happened. This causes tension among the teammates. They all look at Barry differently, and DeVoe focuses on the fact that Barry from season 2 is going to save his mother. He can tell because future Barry still exists. The fact that season 4 Barry Allen still exists means that Barry from season 2 still hasn't changed his mind yet. He's still going to go back and save his mother. This causes conflict among the team, which is exactly what DeVoe wants. In the end, DeVoe manages to finish preparing the accelerator, and he places the toxin inside of it, and he turns on the accelerator. So, episode 20, Salvation. With the accelerator turned on, it will explode in about 30 minutes. Cisco manages to destroy the device on DeVoe's chest and hence allow the speedsters to access the Speedforce. But as always, DeVoe has a contingency plan. Remember when I said DeVoe planted a device inside of Barry to control him? Well, yes, he uses that device again, and he controls Barry from season 4. He uses him to beat the crap out of Team Flash, since he's faster than everyone. He goes to see his family, and when he gets there, he realizes something. When he came up with this plan, he didn't put one thing into consideration. The fact that when he resets the timeline, he's going to become a time remnant. Yes, because he restored the original timeline, it means just like Barry and Wally, there's a new original version of him. Yes, he comes from a timeline created after Flashpoint, which means he's going to meet another DeVoe from the original timeline. So after all, he's not going to get what he wants because there's still another DeVoe with his family, not him. Because of this, DeVoe goes all crazy and starts getting a little psycho. He plans to kill the other DeVoe and replace him with in this original timeline. But first, he's going to erase all meta-humans from the surface of the Earth. But in Star Labs, the accelerator is about to explode, and the Team Flash is still down. They're just now beginning to regain their consciousness after the beating that they got from DeVoe. The team has another argument. They know that Barry is going to go back in time and change the entire lives for the worst. Barry season 2 remembers what his future self told him. He begins to realize that he'll be ruining everybody's life, and he just decides maybe he should change his mind and stuff like that. DeVoe comes back to see the salvation, as he calls it. The accelerator is seconds from exploding and releasing the toxin. Then there's nothing they can do. The accelerator goes off and it explodes. It releases a toxin, and the toxin spreads across the city. DeVoe begins to celebrate as the toxin starts killing meta-humans across the city. When Barry realizes that the toxin is affecting the team, since most of them are now meta-humans, he and Wally speed the whole team out of the city to keep them safe. Caitlin decides to cool down the whole city to slow down the spread of the spread and the effects of the toxin. Wally runs to the nearest university where Caitlin's mother works, and he learns everything he needs to know about metahumans. He uses that knowledge to create an antitoxin that can reverse the effects of DeVoe's toxin, and he does all this in just under 2 minutes. Meanwhile, season 2, Barry goes back to fight DeVoe, and surprisingly, the toxin does not affect him. And this does not affect future Barry. The reason that DeVoe engineered the toxin to work on not to work on Barry Allen because so that he could continue using him as a tool. The two Flashes fight as future Barry fights to protect DeVoe, and season 2 Barry fights to stop DeVoe, not protect him. and free his future self. He takes a really good beating from Future Flash, since Future Flash has more experience and more abilities like Flashtime and sharing his Speedforce with others and so on. So Barry realizes that the only way to stop Future Flash is to accept his mother and his father's deaths. If he accepts that deaths, sorry, I don't know how to say the word death. The word deaths. Sorry, it's confusing. It's tongue twisting me now. If he accepts that deaths, then he will not go back in time and save his mother, which means he will not create Flashpoint, and hence future Barry will no longer exist. And he does this right before Barry almost kills him, and Barry begins to disintegrate. Devoe is only human, and without Future Flash, he's defeated. Barry does defeat him, but he does not kill him. Wily then arrives with the antitoxin he created, and he uses the accelerator to spread it. But the toxin affects him before he could get rid of it. He goes unconscious. Team Flash is clear to come back, and they unite against Devoe. He's on the floor defeated. Devoe tells them that Barry is going to die because of Barry Allen. He tells them that they're all going to die because of Barry Allen. He rants about the horrible things that Barry Allen has done, but Barry tries to talk to him about what it means to be a hero. Devoe still believes that Barry is the villain, and Barry gives him a speech about right and wrong, good and evil. A lot of metahumans are evil. Yes, that is true. If he kills all the metahumans, he gets rid of evil. Again, that is true. However, he will also be getting rid of good, because not all metahumans are evil. To support his speech, Barry brings up Devoe's daughter. Apparently, while learning about metahumans, Wiley discovered that Emily Devoe, Devoe's teenage daughter, is actually a metahuman, along with her younger brother. The two of them are now metahumans, and they ask Devoe if he intends to kill them, just because they're metahumans. The point is, there are good metahumans out there, and good metahumans who do not deserve to die, and killing them would be murder. Realizing he lost, Devoe decides to go out with a speech. He tells them that they are the villains. He still holds on to his ideals, and he tells them that they are like the cause of all the problems in the city. For example, some criminals out there have incredible weapons created by Team Flash, like the cold gun, for example. He gives them a speech about how Team Flash will one day cause the end of the human race because of their selfish desire to save everyone. His words really hit the team pretty hard, and the team feels a little sorry for him. Barry decides to give Devoe what he wanted in the first place. He takes Devoe, who is now powerless to do anything, and very close to dying, to see his family. They look at his happy family through a window, seeing how happy they are and stuff like that. And just before Devoe dies, he warns Barry about his powers. He warns him that he has some incredible powers, and he has the power of a god, the power to change the entire world according to his needs. He warns him that reality is not always what it seems. There will come a time when he finally realizes that the curse that comes with his incredible speed. Devoe dies holding a photo of his family, with Barry still not sure what he meant by all that. Because Barry decided not to go back and save his mom, it means the timeline changed permanently, so Devoe disintegrates. Barry goes back to Star Labs, and he finds that Wally also disintegrated, because he's also from the future, and he doesn't exist anymore. Just as they talk about it, the Wally from that time period shows up confused. The team celebrates that victory, but Barry is bothered by Devoe's words. He's not sure what Devoe meant, but he knows for sure that it doesn't sit well with him. So that is where I'm going to end the episode, and thank you guys for watching the video. I am very happy that I got 2 new subscribers today. It makes me happy. Now I'm sitting at 30. Thank you guys for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for liking my videos. And thank you for those who comment on my videos, especially those who follow me on social media and comment on my stuff on social media. I don't normally post much to YouTube. I post much on social media, and I have a lot of following on social media, unlike on YouTube. So thank you guys for all the engagement and stuff like that. I really appreciate it. With all that being said, I would like to say the next video that I'm going to post is going to be a personal one. It's going to be a video that talks about my life, my real life, and I hope you guys actually like the video. I'm going to be talking about how I became an atheist, and I would really appreciate it if you guys hit the like button on this video and show me your support once again. So thank you guys for watching this video. With all that being said, I would like to say thank you, and yeah, see you guys in my next video. Peace out.